What's
Live.
going on, everybody? Welcome back to JG's Lounge. And hey, you know what? I mean, it's been a minute. It's been a while since I have done a Stardom episode. So first off, let's get the intro out of the way. You're a burglar, but you only steal things to slightly inconvenience your victims. What are you stealing?
I would steal every measuring cup but the 1/3 one.
The one that nobody ever needs.
Yeah. You use it for one recipe.
Woo!
Woo! There's an intro now. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I got my own little intro going on and everything. But you know, it happens, man. I have so many issues. Like we were talking about last time when I had you on and I forgot to hook the mic up.
Yeah, the sound.
It's you know, you improve as you go and you still have flaws. I mean, nobody's perfect.
I think honestly, I was more worried that it was me because I'm like Mr. Audio Engineer wannabe over here, and if I had that shit happen, and that would have some self-reflection to do on that one.
I just, you know, I take it as a kick in the ass, and I just keep going, dude.
It's all good. I mean, it happens.
Welcome back to the lounge, everybody. I'm your host, Jukebox Ginger, and this is another episode of Stardom. I apologize because it's been a couple weeks since I've done an episode, but you know, with holidays and my other show kind of on the rise, it's kind of been a huge kind of wave of where my focus is. Not that this is going anywhere, just kind of my focus is in a lot of places right now. So, Tony, man, welcome back to the show. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. How's life? How's the holiday?
I have less bones in my wrist, so Merry Christmas to me.
What happened?
I think I talked to you about it a little bit at some point. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, I ended up with a wrist surgery several months ago and stuff. Yes. So that's been my life is this messy ass room and just like going slowly insane.
Yeah, you really, I mean, you're waiting on a car, you're in a small town, so it's like there's only so many places you can go.
I mean, Spring Hill I guess is pretty small, but it's like right outside of Olathe, so it's not that big.
Is it pretty close to Olathe now? I mean,
it's just like just south if you just go down 169.
All right, okay. So it's been so long since I've been there.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's just been, I'm just waiting to see when I'm supposed to go back to work and all that shit. So just hanging out.
Hopefully after the new year, that'd be nice.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It depends.
You kind of want to go back now?
Money's nice too.
Yes. What are you talking about? That makes no sense. People don't need money. Man. Well, you know, it's this Thanksgiving was pretty shitty for me. I forgot my turkey. We got all the way out to Lawrence.
Yeah, you mentioned that,
dude. Yeah, we got all the way to Lawrence, and then my wife goes, "Did you grab the turkey?" And I go, "Fuck." So I drove all the way back home. Luckily, it was pretty early. So I mean, we ate dinner like 7:30 at night. It is what it is.
7:30. I mean, 7:30 ain't bad though.
That's not bad. I mean, we got this massive like plug-in roaster, and it works pretty fucking quick. So
what the fuck? Plug-in roaster, like a rotisserie
plug-in
thing?
roaster. It almost looks like a crock pot, but it's huge and it's meant for roasting. So I mean, we just use that for the turkey.
I mean, it is in the name.
Yeah. And it turned out fantastic. If anybody's curious, okay, it wasn't undercooked or anything.
Yeah, that's the worst part about turkey is like actually I'm kind of into cooking and shit myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't call myself a chef. That would be really disrespectful. I'd have some sideways glances for sure. But like, you know, I'm a pretty like intermediate home cook level, I would say.
Right.
And like turkey is just a nightmare because there's something that actually happens is one side of it cooks faster than the other. And that's an actual thing that like it's actual food science. So it's like a real thing. Like just because the dark meat cooks at a different temperature and all that shit. So what you got to get going is like grab a sharp ass knife and like cut it right down to the middle if you're not using your fancy ass roaster, hoity-toity over here. But you gotta take a really sharp ass knife and just like cut it down the middle, just to have this weird, like they call it spatchcocking. You ever heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So spatchcocking, then you get this weird deflated looking turkey that comes out at the end, but it at least tastes a lot better because it's not fucking drier than the Sahara Desert like usual.
So the one from work that we get, I always keep and just get creative with it. We get like a 24-pound one for Thanksgiving, but the one from work, it's not it's like 13 to 16 pounds somewhere. So I usually like I've brined them, I've smoked them, I've butterflied them and fucking decorated them up with some rub and shit. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. We were talking about it today. I'm like, I don't know what we can cut up the meat and do a sautéed skillet with it. I don't know.
Well, I didn't even get mine from work this year, so.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to be. Do you still get one?
I don't know. That's it. I just didn't even want to. I was a little afraid to ask, honestly. I was just like,
hey, can I come up there and grab my turkey?
Not really worth it. We ended up out of. I don't know if anybody's ever eaten. Just in case you ever are sitting at home and you're like, oh my God, my wife's cooking or my mom's cooking or whatever. It's just awful. Just imagine eating at fucking Cracker Barrel instead and just realize the old person hell that happens once a year on a Thursday in November. And I swear to God, like if you've never been, like the turkey canned, I swear to God, it's lunch meat and it must be canned because it's just horrible. Green beans canned, corn canned. Somehow, like the pie is bad. Like it just not. It's just everything tastes like it came out of a fucking can, and I don't know what they're doing over there at Cracker Barrel, but that thing that they like to say where it's like good home cooking is like bullshit.
Hey, I like Cracker Barrel.
I'm fucking calling you out, Cracker Barrel. Feeding me this horse shit, this fucking swill.
What is it around? There's a place called I don't know, it's kind of like an IHOP around here, but it's a local one. But I remember I saw a guy in Walmart buying like chunks of already cooked turkey breast, and he was like the owner of one of these restaurant chains. Yeah. And I'm like, you motherfucker! You're like, it's not even like. Yeah, because you went to Walmart and bought this meat. Like, it's not even that creative.
Yeah, because they don't want to fucking deal with that shit. Because turkeys are horrible to cook. It's awful. It's the most awful thing you'll ever do in your life. Ask anybody who's ever actually done it for real, and they'll tell you. But I mean, I just got done shitting on Cracker Barrel, but that's because this is what led me into the world of like diner Thanksgiving dinners is right. Is like we like a year or two ago we went because we have to go kind of appease Tasha's family and whatever and hang out with them, and they're nice people, but they're also kind of nuts a little bit, right? Just a little bit. So like and they like me, but I also clean up a lot, so it's like a version of me that comes over, and they really like that version of me, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So like but their thing is for some reason they have just these weird food tastes where like shit like that tastes amazing to them for some reason. Like that's a good Thanksgiving dinner is sitting at the fucking Cracker Barrel. And this year they also have terrible planning skills, and so they showed up, and this year they came in last minute, and there was a 3-hour wait. So then what I ended up with instead was
Cracker Barrel.
At Cracker Barrel. This shit's fucking popping like you wouldn't believe.
Is that canned meat, man? They want that canned food.
Oh man, all the grannies and grandmas who can't fucking taste anything anymore. They love that shit.
You know what it is?
I said the grannies and grandmas. I meant grannies and grandmas.
It's that canned sodium.
Yeah, that's all that's left is like, and there's barely any of that either. Trust me. Like I don't even fucking know. It was the grossest shit. So this year we ended up with Perkins instead, which is like. It's basically the same thing, but I now find myself in the unfortunate position of being able to distinguish between the food at Perkins on Thanksgiving dinner and the food at the Cracker Barrel at Thanksgiving dinner. Well, I can tell you that Perkins is at least slightly better. They got a little bit more class. with their canned meat.
Daniel says Waffle House.
Waffle House.
I think the last time I was in a Waffle House, I was maybe 13. I've had no interest in going back.
The last time I was at a Waffle House, I stumbled down a street for like what seemed like 2 hours with a friend of mine, just completely butt ass drunk. And I think at some point, despite the fact that it really was only about a 10-minute walk, I think it did take us an hour. And about halfway through, we stopped at a stop sign to like lay down and take a breather. And then I leaned over and told him, I love you, man. I just think you're the best. You're the greatest guy ever. And then we got up and had terrible biscuits and gravy, which I promptly threw up in the bathroom. And that was my Waffle House experience.
So my experiences like that were with like Steak and Shake.
I actually like Steak and Shake.
I do too.
Kind of.
I'm usually like super smashed at like 3 or 4 in the morning when I go there.
So the shakes are actually not that bad. I mean, they're not.
The food's good.
I prefer like custard or like really good high quality ice cream and shit, but theirs isn't bad for like that old school diner kind of feel.
Well, it's funny that we're getting into this topic because this is literally what I'm kind of going for tonight. And it's basically, it's it's social media and like these companies that hire people to run their social media accounts, and they talk shit on people that post stuff on social media.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen any of these posts.
I have not, because
then this is gonna be perfect.
I do not pay attention to social media that much.
Then you're gonna, dude, this is gonna be great. Let's do this first one because we were talking about being drunk at 3 in the morning. So we're gonna go ahead and get this first one out of the way here. It says, "Natty tastes like glue. I'd take the extra carb." And then Natty replied with, "Too bad when you tasted glue, it didn't keep your mouth shut."
You know what? The thing about Natty Light is they know what they're fucking doing. They have no.
They don't care either. They're cheap.
It's not like Coors Light where they try to pretend like it's a big fucking deal or like it's high class somehow. Like Coors is like, yeah, you're drinking a Coors, man. You're cool. Whereas Natty Light's just like, we're fucking Natty Light. You know exactly what this shit is. It's never been different.
You bought this. You knew what you were buying.
This is cheap this is cheap bullshit to get drunk on, and we know it.
Yeah, Coors Light's like, look, our mountains changed colors on the can.
Yeah, funny. If you know anything about beer, you know that actually the perfect temperature for beer is about 45 degrees because it's not too cold that your taste buds start focusing on the cold and not the beer flavor.
Right.
And it's not too warm that it kind of has that room temperature beer thing where it's not as pleasant or refreshing or whatever.
Right.
And so the reason why Coors Light has those fucking mountains on there is because they're trying to trick you into getting it ice fucking cold so you can't taste how shitty it is.
Do you think that's really why?
I fucking exactly think that's why. I'm going to put that forward. This is my hypothesis.
I think the worst. Okay, so the worst beer, because especially back in college, my college, like I didn't even go to. I mean, I did JUCO, but I lived in Lawrence, so I mean, I had the college experience, and there was something called Beer 30. Have you ever heard of it?
Sounds familiar.
You can get a 30 pack. You get a 30 pack of Beer 30 for $10.
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't know what you could expect from buying a 30 pack of beer for $10, but it's exactly what you'd expect. It'd be like drinking toilet bowl water that had some dirty socks and maybe some other shit, sitting in the water. The same, and that's you had to just
condoms and shit.
You literally had to just chug it. It's one of those things where it's like, guys, we're getting drunk tonight and we're gonna get drunk cheap.
Tastes like douchebag.
Give me a shot of that McCormick's vodka.
I'm the one who bought it, so I must be the douchebag.
Yeah, I'll supply all the liquor, guys. You guys just show up, okay?
Hey, that saved me before I was 21, so hats off to those people.
What's the best cheap beer that you like?
I got to be honest, Miller Lite.
I like Miller Lite.
It's like the one light beer that I'm like, this is acceptable. It's not great, but it's way better than you would expect.
I like High Life. I think High Life's pretty good.
I mean, High Life is that, but like shittier to me. Like it's just
Yeah,
it's just
the same company that makes it.
Another fucking step down. I know that. I'm just saying it's another step down. If you ever go to Minnesota, I have a lot of family in Minnesota, and there's one thing they drink. It's called Golden Light, and it's like
I've heard of Golden Light
by Milwaukee or something. I swear, everybody in fucking Minnesota drinks it, and I don't know what it is, but it's like it's not good. It's like I would much rather walk my ass over to where is Miller from Wisconsin? I think.
I don't know.
Wisconsin or Detroit. I don't know. Fuck it. I'd rather walk my happy ass to wherever the fuck that is. And get some beer there instead.
Are you a fan of Chipotle?
Yeah, we eat there quite a bit actually. Well, yeah. I shouldn't say quite a bit, but every so often, yeah.
Yeah. Same here. We go 2 or 3 times a year, so it's not like something we do every other month or anything. But
I kind of we're every other month. It's just right up the street and it's pretty easy. So
yeah, they posted this. It says, "Good morning to everyone except people who take our Tabasco sauce." Boss. Unfortunately, I'm right up there, man. I've done it because there's certain ones there's one that they have that only they carry.
I don't think so.
Yes, it's their Chipotle one. For a while, they were the only ones that carried it. Not anymore, but when it first came out, they were the only ones that carried it.
I used to see that in the store all the time, actually.
Now it is, but when it very first came out, it was explicitly for Chipotle.
Was it?
Yes, and it was advertised that way and everything. At least I'm pretty sure, because I would have never done it besides that point. But it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I always saw that, and I could be wrong though. But yeah.
But man, yeah, I love Chipotle, and it's not like it wasn't with the intention of, oh, I'm gonna fucking steal this bottle. It was like, it was just funny when I saw that post because I've totally done that. But have you ever worked in a restaurant?
Yes, I worked at a Outback Steakhouse for about 3 months until they threw me the fuck out.
People steal the weirdest things, man. They'll steal ramekins. They'll steal little salt and pepper shakers that like aren't even like impressive salt and pepper shakers. They'll just take them, and it's like, why? Or you talk about Cracker Barrel, those little games, like they'll be missing pieces and shit.
Oh yeah, I have ADHD. That shit's right up my alley. It's like fucking.
Oh yeah,
it's like fucking crack for neurodivergence.
But I don't get the mindset of some people, man. People take the dumbest shit.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that. I mean, I haven't had their breakfast in a while, but when I used to do it once in a while, there's always that time that you sit down and you realize you got one peg short, and then you just want to like chuck it against the fucking wall or some shit.
I like their what is it, cheesy hash or whatever? I mean, cheesy potato hash or whatever it is.
It's been that long. I don't even remember. I went through a period where I stopped really like eating a lot of fast food and shit. And I've kind of swung a few restaurants back in, but like a lot of those breakfast places and shit I stopped going to. I really like First Watch, actually. Is my favorite. Love First Watch. First Watch is excellent.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Like, top tier.
You talk about biscuits and gravy. They got fantastic
biscuits and
gravy.
Everything they got, their coffee is fucking good. Everything's fucking good. I've been genuinely impressed with a lot of the stuff they do, and I like the fact that they have a rotating menu and shit. That's really cool. I like them a lot. Yes. I try everything. I try pretty much everything they put on that.
It's good. Yeah, they have a fantastic menu. My wife and I go every couple months for that.
Very rarely has it ever like not worked. Like something there's been a couple of ones like they were trying to put like sweet potatoes together with this like it was like a sweet potato like breakfast hash. But it had like other weird flavors that just didn't go together, and that was like one of the only times that happened. That was more recently, but usually really good.
Yes, yeah, I agree 100% with that. I also like a Big Biscuit.
I have never actually been to Big Biscuit. I don't know why.
It's very very similar. Well, I mean they got their differences, but
yeah,
very similar as far as competition wise.
That was one of the you ever those restaurants that you just like you've seen the logo and you've driven past it a billion times and you're just like, yeah, I'll go to that someday, and then you never.
Yeah, well, it's not like a yes, I have to go there. You just see it and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like Big Biscuit's one of them for me, so it's just not. Not.
It's. I mean, if you like First Watch, it's another First. I mean, it's a similar concept to First Watch.
I think my thing there is like if it's too similar to like remember Freebirds?
Yes.
Like
yeah,
if it's too
close
similar,
to Chipotle.
yeah, it was like Chipotle but weird, and like the but weird part was like, why don't I just go to Chipotle then?
Well, the difference between Freebirds and Chipotle is that Freebirds was just a bunch of stoners that didn't care that you knew that they were stoned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought some of the ideas were kind of cool, like the different wraps and shit, but
yeah,
I don't know. It just at the end of the day, I just went back to Chipotle. I was like, fuck it.
Chipotle's good though. And that's like Qdoba. Qdoba's pretty.
If you like that California Tex-Mex kind of flavor, then yeah, it's not bad for that at all.
Yeah. This next one is from Gatorade, which is kind of hard to see. God dang it! It says, "Hey Gatorade, I'm having trouble opening the lid to some of your bottles. Any ideas what the problem is?" It says, "We're very sorry to hear you're having trouble with our twist off caps. Maybe hit the gym once or twice, you fucking pussy."
I feel like some of these have to be photoshopped because there's no way Gatorade is gonna fucking drop F-bombs and say pussy. It's just not happening. It's not really on.
Yeah, there's probably some sort of like lawsuit or something on that one.
It's either that or it's a fake account for sure.
Still funny though. Still good.
It's totally possible. I mean, Twitter's having all that shit with their verification, I suppose. Like you could easily just make a Gatorade account right now. You know about that shit?
Huh?
With Twitter, you can just pay $8 for a blue check now.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. That's a real thing that Elon Musk did.
So what's the point of having a blue check?
And I actually have. I mean, like some people really fucking like have it out for that guy, but I've actually been a fan of some things.
I don't have it. It's funny, let's be real here. He's 100% real. He's like what you and I are doing, just fucking filthy rich. He says whatever the fuck he wants. He does whatever he wants. He speaks his mind.
And I mean, and it turns out he has Asperger's, and I know I have a lot of friends with Asperger's, and it makes sense. Like some of the unfiltered kind of like just says what on his mind shit that lines up. It checks out.
It does.
It really does. So I don't know. Like I don't know the guy personally. I don't have anything. I don't have any comment on that. I just
I mean, based on what I've seen.
Some things he tries, I'm cool with, and some things he tries, I'm like, what the fuck are you? I don't understand, but okay, whatever, man. But in the case of the blue check thing, that is definitely on the what the fuck ever man scale because like that was a dumb idea. That was just not a good.
Every like 3 or 4 months, I'll apply for the blue check on like Instagram and TikTok just because it does help with your notoriety.
Oh yeah, I know about that stuff, but
I always get turned down, even though it's like literally all the stuff they ask for is legit stuff. They don't care because you're just not big enough.
Yeah. But yeah, you can straight up just buy one now. So that's created a whole clusterfuck of people just making like Barack Obama accounts or whatever the fuck and saying just wild, unwarranted shit. Which is hilarious.
Well, if you're gonna buy it, at least verify that it's the person, because like that's like I can verify it's me and get blocked all day, and that's fine. But at least verify that it's the person.
Well, the way I understand it is the original concept is that it's to combat spammers on the site. So like a spammer is not going to pay fucking $8 an account to have like they normally do, where they have these swarms of like auto-generated accounts and shit.
Yes,
like that's going to get so expensive so fast. So I understand the idea from that point of view, but like you had like anybody could have told you that like the whole fucking impersonation thing was going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do you expect?
It's like, duh, it's the fucking internet, man.
All right, next one. Let's get into this next one. All right, this is Hamburger Helper. It says, I've never really found the need for pants, but carry on. And basically it says, if the Hamburger Helper wore jeans, would he wear them like this or like this?
I think
the one on the right kind of reminds me of like an Event Horizon scene where you'd be like hooked.
That glove is really into bondage on the right there.
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
I was like, he's like hooked up to some machine or something. I don't know.
Like, look, he's having a gay old time.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Did
He's
you
never been happier.
did you ever eat Hamburger Helper?
I still do sometimes. There's a beef stroganoff one that I
It's
just
not
add
bad.
like if you add sour cream and fresh parsley and sliced mushrooms to it, it's actually not that bad.
It's funny because there's a lot of actual cheap foods that if you chef it up or doctor it up,
Just a
it's
little
not
bit, yeah.
bad. Like ramen, honestly, if you cook the noodles separate from the packet, and then like you take the packet and you like water it down, add some seasonings, thicken it up a little bit, you can throw some meat on there. You can actually make it an okay meal.
Okay. The problem with ramen is once you've had good ramen, it's hard to go back to instant noodles. It's just like
I'm just saying that there's always a way to doctor it to make it a little better than it was.
yeah, for sure.
You know?
Like I mean, I have to because otherwise it's just noodles and water, but with like salt.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, basically, if you're eating ramen, it's just for the sodium.
Yeah, and like I guess
makes you
whatever.
hungry.
I guess some bone marrow maybe.
Yeah.
I hear that's good for you.
It's funny because Amanda will eat it raw. She'll just eat the noodles raw.
I've seen recipes for shit like that, but I don't know. I'm not for me.
Hamburger Helper has this tuna casserole one that's okay. If you like tuna, it's all right.
The tuna helper, there's a couple of the tuna helpers that like those are for me and my wife, those are nostalgia foods. So it's like for a while we've been eating them, and then they became like after we got over the nostalgia again, it became like here's a cheap thing to make once in a while.
Yeah,
they're still honestly though they're still not that good, but they're like in the grand scheme of the culinary arts, they're pretty fucking low on the list. But
yes,
I mean, if you grew up on that shit, it's pretty.
I mean, those are doomsday prep meals. It's fine.
or again, it's just me at 5 years old when we didn't have much money. That's pretty much what it is.
I've been there, man. Like I said, we used to take I remember my mom would take bologna slices and she'd throw them on a skillet and then put them on a bun and fold it, throw some ketchup, and say, "Here's a hot dog."
my mom wasn't into child abuse the way yours was, but I've had something close to that, maybe.
Or like eating the fat on steaks, man, or porks. Like I was always like, "No, I'm not gonna eat that," and she forced me to sit there until I ate all of it.
That's actually like good parenting in my opinion.
I still hate the fat on meat, man.
You have to have, good steaks and shit and brisket and whatever and prime rib. It's like the best part, man.
So there's a difference between having. Why is he still bringing this up? Okay, hold on. He says, "You say Waffle House biscuits and gravy is bad, but you eat Tuna Helper."
I was drunk for the Waffle House biscuits. All right. I'm typically stone sober for the Tuna Helper. I don't know if that makes it better or not, to be honest.
At least you realize that it's not great.
I did say it was low tier, to be fair.
Yes,
you gotta give me credit where credit's due.
That's true. He did. No, I have had the prime rib, and actually I like rib. Like I'm not a huge rib fan, but if it's like falling off the bone and like that fat almost kind of melts in your mouth, that's different. But when it's like chewy ass fat, I can't do it.
That just means you didn't cook it properly. In which case, we're back to calling Child Protective Services on your mom.
3-week expired pork chops.
Yeah, exactly.
Broke a tooth on a just a pork loin.
Did you?
No.
Oh. I was like, well, that would have been funny. Oh, okay, never mind.
All right, let's see if this one will show here. This says it's actually on a phone. I'm gonna try and zoom in on it. It says Samsung Mobile. Got your hands on the new Galaxy S8? Show us the first photo you took. Somebody says it was a dick pic. And then at the very bottom, Samsung replied with a
microscope
emoji. What do you think? You think that one was photoshopped or that was legit?
It's hard to tell, man. It's really hard to tell these days. especially with that blue check mark shit.
Yeah, no joke, man. That
I don't know.
you really got me fired up about that though, because it's like that defeats the purpose of having the blue check mark. $8 or not, it kind of defeats the purpose of it.
I don't know. I mean, he was like, we're gonna try a lot of weird shit for the next few months, and so I'm waiting and seeing. But
eventually he's gonna buy all Meta and everything. Watch.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't want to fucking Meta just lost like 2/3 of its fucking stock or some shit. Like it plummeted.
Well, they're just combining everything. So Instagram's Meta, Facebook's Meta, VR, all the Oculuses are now Meta.
I've never I love VR. If you've never tried VR, it's actually really cool.
We have 2 of them.
Oh yeah, they're sick. They're really fun. But like, do I want fucking Zuckerberg strapped to my face? No,
no. Have you messed around? Have you messed around with the Horizons at all?
Horizons?
Yeah, Meta Horizons.
I don't even know.
So do you have the VR?
I don't. No, I mean I don't. I have a headset for my my PlayStation, but I don't have any of that weird fucking.
So they have it's cool because they have
shit.
these simulator courtrooms and stuff, and you can go in there with random people from all over the place and create your own jury and everything, and everybody gets to be a role. And then you just make up your own stories and play out a whole court scene. Amanda and I do it. It's hilarious.
That's cool. Yeah. I've seen you can buy other shit that's not owned by Facebook, because Oculus is Facebook. So you can buy other stuff that isn't Oculus, and you can do there's a program called VR Chat that I've seen a lot of shit about.
I've seen it, but I haven't.
I think basically Zuckerberg was whacking off one night and he saw VR Chat and he's like, yeah, oh yeah, that one. Because it just the whole Meta thing just looks like a shitty version of VR Chat. To me, if you've seen anything about VR Chat, that's exactly what it looks like to me.
It does. It reminds me of what is that movie called? Ready Player One. Yeah. Did you ever see Ready Player One?
I didn't watch the whole thing. No.
Oh, dude, it's basically everybody's in this virtual realm and is dating people in these virtual. It's kind of basically where the meta is kind of going with the VR. It's weird.
I'm not opposed to something like that, but I would much rather take the VR Chat version of that, which is very much it's just a bunch of people on the internet doing something. It's just the old school forum board type shit with now you have a character and add a layer of newer technology on that shit. That's totally not threatening to me. What is threatening is having fucking Facebook tracking my eyes as I'm and trying to feed me ads and shit. No,
it's crazy because there's so many cameras in the VR.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And just we have 2 of them. Damn it.
Yeah, I stay away from any of that kind of shit. Especially I haven't. Maybe I don't know how many of my friends would have this kind of thing, but I've stayed far away from any of those Amazon Echoes or Google Homes or whatever the fuck like that, because they are recording. There's been proven that they're recording shit all the time, even when you think they're not, and they just store it on servers and that shit. Cybersecurity is one of the worst things ever, and that shit gets leaked all the fucking time. Tuna Helper is threatening to me. There must be a delay on this shit. Holy fuck!
No, I think he's just being an asshole. Well, Daniel, even though I haven't had you on the show in a while, I feel like I always have you on the show.
I think that's who we were talking to last time.
The last one too, yeah. So I do appreciate you being on here with your comedy, at least.
Yeah.
All right, so this next one says, Wendy's needs to get rid of the square burger. It seems a little too artificial. And Wendy's replied with, unlike the supernatural circle shape that hamburgers come in when you pick them off the vine.
See, but I've read tweets from Wendy's before, and they do post shit like that for real.
Oh, dude, yes.
That is actually, it is. I think I call it into question anytime they're firing back with profanity, or if it's some sort of sexually, because that shit's just advertisers don't like that stuff,
There's a point where it's crossing the line, and those are
areas where it. But that one I totally believe Wendy's.
Yes.
Wendy's
Well, and
doing
you,
that shit.
you can easily like smash somebody or like be savage like to respond
Mhm.
in a way where it's in their
still
face
corporate
and
friendly,
not yes. And Wendy's does do it, man. They do it a lot. Actually, when
I gotta be honest. Like, I appreciate that kind of shit. Like, I fucking hate advertising, but like when it's done well, I can appreciate that there's like
Yes.
actual effort put into it.
yes,
And not only that, but I actually kind of like Wendy's. It's pretty good.
it's and the thing about Wendy's is like their fries are pretty good. Their burgers are okay. So like at least it's none of it's like, nah, I could go,
I think as far as a fast food burger goes, they're pretty much at the top for me. And they've changed the fries again, and they've gotten better actually each time they've changed them, I think. And the newer ones are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll eat there a couple times a month sometimes.
Frosty and fries, man. Frosty and fries.
I don't usually get the Frosties all that often because I try to stay away from sweets, but yeah.
Yeah, I like the Frosty and fries. I like to dip the fries in the Frosty. So they got rid of the vanilla. Now they switched it. It was strawberry. Now it's like peppermint or some shit.
Yeah, but my wife actually got one of those, and she's fucking happy as a clam because she loves mint. And it's like, Christmas is her fucking. This is like T minus a couple days here. This is her fucking time of the month for sure. Or time of the year. I mean,
time of the month.
She goes all out on that shit. She's so into it.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
Well, I love this time of the year, weather and everything, man. It's fantastic to me. I love it.
I'm more of like an October, November dude.
Okay, all right,
maybe September.
This next one here is pretty funny. It's it says, let's see, I might have to. It says, Mean Girls quotes. It says, you want to do something fun? You want to go to Taco Bell? And Regina replies with, I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all carb diet. And Taco Bell replies with, God, Karen, you're so stupid.
I still haven't seen that fucking movie. I've reached the ripe old age of 32, and I have not seen Mean Girls, and I don't know if I care that much.
Ripe old age, Daniel. I'm sure you're gonna throw some comment in there on that one. I'm about to be 34 in a couple days.
Is it more food jokes? Something about ripe old Tuna Helper,
ripe old Cracker Barrel or Waffle House, something like that.
Ripe old biscuits and gravy from Waffle House.
That canned sodium tasting fantastic. I don't know. We'll see. Give it about 10 minutes.
See you in 15, Daniel.
I never really understood where the whole Karen thing came from. Like, was there a specific thing that caused
that was floating? I swear that was floating around on the internet in like the early 2010s, at least.
Seriously,
that was just like a thing. It started out. I remember it this way. Doesn't mean it was this way. It's just this is the way I remember it. Is that there was a meme that was floating around for a while, where like it had the lady with the "Can I see the manager" haircut on it, and then that kind of like morphed into like, well, like what's the most common names for those type of people that look like that, and then like Karen ended up being one of them, right? So like I feel like it was just a natural slow evolution, and then it legitimately to my memory, it was on the internet for a while, and then it just kind of like became popular again, especially because of like the pandemic and shit. Yeah. Because everybody was being a goddamn Karen. Oh my god!
It's funny because like when I actually heard it from my 11-year-old, and he would start saying it, and I was like, "What the what is it?" I mean, my wife would laugh about it, and I'm just like, "What?" And then I started seeing it on social media, and I'm like, "Okay." And then I start thinking about Karens that I know, and I'm like, "Okay, it's fitting." But I feel like it doesn't matter the name. Like you can find plenty of people.
Sure, but but the name doesn't matter after a while. It's just the description of the person.
Yes.
And the fact, and the funniest part was when actual people who are Karens started getting mad about being called Karens.
Yeah.
And like they caught wind of the whole Karen thing and they were actually mad about it, which is such a Karen thing to do. So it was like you just can't win.
Oh yeah, because you read comments and people would reply with just quit being such a Karen. You know?
No, there was like articles that were being written that were with like people trying to say it was like hate speech or some shit. And everybody's response was collectively just shut up, Karen. Even Karen won't eat Tuna Helper. There we go.
Oh man. Oh Daniel, man.
Always late and always off topic.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I feel like this whole show we've basically promoted Cracker Barrel and Tuna Helper. Those are the two main things we've really promoted.
I don't know. I think some of the things I said about Cracker Barrel may not be what I would call promotion.
Fair enough. Fair point. Let's see what else we got here.
I wouldn't turn any applications in for sponsorship anytime soon.
Hey, I was just talking about you recently on one of my episodes. Just curious if you'd be interested. This next one is for Charmin. It says, at Charmin, my daughter was killed by a bear yesterday when she tried to offer toilet paper, you son of a bitch. It says, Charmin bears are animated. We do not advise offering real bears toilet paper. Leave the wild animals wrangling to Old Spice. I like Old Spice. It's a decent deodorant.
I once had this experience where there was a lake in Flagstaff, Arizona, because my grandfather lived in Flagstaff, Arizona when I lived there in Phoenix, and he used to take me up fishing when we'd go up to visit him every so often and shit like that. So this one lake we went to where like I had to go to the bathroom like really fucking like I had to take a shit so bad. Right. It's just awful. And I was like trying to hold it in and trying to wait till we got home. But he was the type of guy who he liked to go out and just like fish and catch nothing and just drink beer. And while we were kept busy, basically, I think that was like his excuse to just be like, go fucking 5 miles down and try to catch a fish. I'll be here drinking beer for the next hour or so. So he would. So like 2 hours in or something like that. I'm just like, oh my god, I have to go. I don't think I can hold it anymore. I might even shit myself at this point. So I went. So he's like, well, just go back there and find a tree or some shit. And so I'm fucking. I'm like looking around and I finally see a tree that I feel like is like, all right. I feel like I could like fandangle and lean up against it a bit. And whatever, and I'm gonna get in on Daniel before this is like, no, I wasn't eating Tuna Helper. So, but the fucking so I find the tree and I lean down and do my business. He had handed me some toilet paper and it was, oh my god, I turned around and it was like the biggest pile of just like diarrhea I've ever seen in my life. It was so fucking nasty and shit like that. And then he made some comment. He's like, people are gonna think it's a bear. What did you do? What did you do out here? They're gonna think the bears are out. And sure enough, we come back in a couple weeks, and somebody had put out a sign that said, "Please don't feed the bears." like right next to where I had taken that fucking nasty ass dump. Just like, please watch for bears. It was not there before that. So I think I actually like convinced a park like associate that there were bears out there somehow, despite the like toilet paper. So like maybe he thought the Charmin bears were real or something. I don't know.
Charmin bears, man.
The Charmin bears will get you.
I don't. I usually just buy the Kirkland toilet paper, man.
So do I.
It lasts cheap. So much longer, man.
They've had weird QC issues lately, though, but I don't know.
Yes. And occasionally we'll get random ones that are like low, like a cheaper brand, but
I've
like
noticed
super cheap brand.
doesn't seem the same. Doesn't have that on my asshole, just like
yeah, I get a
little chef's kiss.
As soon as I feel a little rash coming on, I know.
Yeah,
it's not, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not good.
Next up says Old Spice saying to Taco Bell. Why is it that fire sauce isn't made with any real fire? Seems like false advertising. And Taco Bell responds with, "Is your deodorant made with real Old Spice?"
Yeah, they ship it over from India just like the old days.
It's barrel aged about 85 years.
Do you know, and like think about that for a second. Fun, like random fact moment. People used to literally kill each other over fucking salt and pepper. Like that was an actual
wasn't
thing
that a
that
current?
happened.
Yeah, that was currency, wasn't it?
When people talk about the spice, when people talk about the spice trade, they were literally talking about like black pepper, because black pepper comes from India, and shit like that. So like just the shit that we just have sitting around like it's no big fucking deal. Like you know, you lose a can of pepper, you're like, meh. That would, like, in the 1600s, that would be like you had to be rich to even have that shit. So literally, like, the type of inequality that was happening at the time was that rich people actually had flavor to their food and poor people did not.
I need to do an episode on that, just like random facts of things that people have killed themselves over. Just like
that's fucking crazy. Like when you put it in context like that, you know, that shit you're adding to your fucking Waffle House biscuits and Tuna Helper is like.
There's countries out there that don't even have technology, man. That still, like, it just doesn't exist. You know, there's villages and stuff in Africa that literally don't have technology.
Yeah, I know.
Or food, or you know,
I don't think the technology is as big of a deal, but like at least running water or clean water at the very least.
Well, I say technology only because it's like literally everywhere we look here. And like we think it's like no big deal, but anywhere else, like they don't give a fuck about it because they don't need it.
Yeah, I don't know if the little hungry kids in Africa need Twitter that bad. I don't know if
I really need to check my social.
like I don't really know if I fly to fucking Zambia or whatever the fuck or Rwanda and I give a kid $8 to get a blue check verification. I don't think that's exactly helping the issue.
Oh man, do like a missionary trip overseas just to like give kids $8 so they get blue checks.
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm curious.
Everybody gets verified. Thanks, Oprah.
You are you.
You get verified. You get verified. You get verified.
They probably find them next to a tree with a big old pile of diarrhea, just wadded up down there in the fucking diarrhea.
You can post their wooden gravestones on Twitter in a couple of weeks.
We laugh, but it's actually pretty fucked up. That's funny.
I know. That's why you make fun of it.
Yes, it's true. Did you ever eat moon pies?
No.
You never eat.
I'm not. Do you mean like the moon pies that like I want to say it's China, but there's like the Lunar New Year pies or just like
no, they're like
pies.
These little like
the little Debbie bullshit.
Yes, little Debbie.
Okay,
moon pies.
all right, yeah.
Have you had those?
I have not had any of that shit in a long time.
Well, I mean they're popular to some people, but they're not that popular. But this says your time is wasted managing a social media account. And this person says, buddy, it's Saturday night and you're talking to a marshmallow sandwich on the internet. That's a pretty good hit.
That's a good one.
That is good. It's straight to the point. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of one of the things about social media that I love is as shitty as it is, there is funny stuff out there, man. Okay, so I gotta find it I gotta find that stuff to make fun of it because that's literally the point of the show.
I think the golden age of the internet was around 2007 or so.
When MySpace was
about 2012.
When MySpace was in its prime.
Yeah. Actually,
that was good though, man. You can make your own playlist and everything. And
yeah, like there was some cool shit on MySpace. It just went wacky, and then Facebook was all my friends went to Facebook, so that's why I moved over.
MySpace is still around. Did you know that?
I know. I've still got. They had a server crash, and I still had like music uploaded to an old page that I would go back to periodically. It sucked. It wasn't worth listening to, but it was like, oh hey, yeah, cool. I remember that. And
go ahead.
And then they had a server crash, and like they just had to come out with the statements like, so sorry if you had like any old photos or like anything, it's all gone. Literally. So like all the profiles are broke. All the my old profile is all broken and shit, and it doesn't work anymore. And I used to periodically just kind of fucking log on and just be like, oh, cool, man, I remember this, you know.
When I first moved out, let's see, what was it? 08. MySpace was huge, and WoW was big, and WoW was,
oh yeah, they just put out a new expansion actually.
Oh my god, the fact that is it still pretty popular?
It's hard to really like. I wouldn't use the words "pretty popular," you know. There's
for
like
Daniel,
some people that
Daniel,
are just
for
fucking,
you, I just want to let you know, WoW means World of Warcraft.
You might be too old for that one.
I gotta give you a hard time, man. You know this.
Some people listening will be too young because they're playing Fortnite, and Daniel's over here being too old and not eating Tuna Helper.
Oh, he's sitting at Waffle House watching us on his phone.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Or next to the fire at Cracker Barrel, but I don't think they're. Well, they might be open in the. No, they're definitely not open in Arizona.
No, they're closed by now for sure.
Well, he's in Arizona. He's an hour, either 1 or 2 hours behind us.
It'd be 2 right now, I think.
Yeah. So, but they're I don't think they're
because we're on DST. So
yeah. All right, man. So this is a good show, man. This is a good time.
Yeah,
I love doing this. At least my audio worked this time.
Yeah. You didn't fuck it up.
Nah, good, go me.
Nope.
You can get your car.
Don't pull a shoulder, patting yourself on the back.
you need to get your car back and come over here. And we'll do a full screen, and we'll just be sitting right here in front of my big green screen. Wait, he replied. It's not that I'm too old. He's not that he's told old. I'm just what you would call too grown up to play kids games. Says a guy who's been talking shit to us this whole show.
I wouldn't recommend WoW, but there's plenty of, like, I'm a pretty big gamer and shit. There's lots of fun stuff to do.
There is good games out there. I just don't. I don't want to get caught up on video games, man. There's a lot of everybody that I know that's into video games, like either is like loves video games, like hardcore, spends hours playing it, or they don't play them.
I know people that are like a little bit in the middle, but it depends. Depends. I think the more responsibilities you get, the less time you have for it, and like I wouldn't even say that. It's just that like I think if you're caught up in a lot of other shit, it doesn't really play well with that. You know, that's for sure. Women at wrestling.
I'd be more interested in that than WoW, to be honest. That's just me because I'm not a gamer.
That's WCW, and they're not even around anymore.
They've kind of been absorbed into WWF, right?
I don't remember, to be honest. I think they kind of failed, and then WWE, I guess, is just whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm not sure if you're how much you're into like MMA and stuff. I'm like a loose follower of it, but Ronda Rousey moving over to fucking WWE because she couldn't stick it in in the cage. It was the funniest fucking shit. Where she's like celebrating her championship at the WWE like it was an achievement, and I just can't take that shit seriously because they set it up. It's all fake. It's all fucking planned
There's
out.
There's a lot of acting in it, though, man. You gotta be able to act.
That's why fucking The Rock became an actor. Like it's not even any different whatsoever. It's the same job.
Hey, The Rock's an okay actor. He's not great, but
I didn't say he was bad or good. To be fair, but like,
that's why I said
yeah,
he's not.
I think he's entertaining, but that's like again, a lot of people like to separate. Oh yeah, this was like, you know, The Rock in his wrestling days, and this is The Rock in his acting days. But I just look at it as like The Rock was always an actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's literally actually true.
I mean, you're not wrong. Now, for wrestlers,
Andre the Giant, yeah. I will say it used to be more entertaining, though.
Yeah, it did. I had a one of my great grandmas used to get kicked out of wrestling matches because she'd throw her shoes at the stage or at the because she'd get pissed off at them.
That's funny.
Mm.
Yeah, I could never get that wrapped up into it, but when I was like, in my teens and stuff, it was kind of, I thought Kane and Undertaker and shit like that were kind of cool.
Right.
That, like, even though like I kind of realized that it was, full of shit or whatever. But.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here and call it a night. I'm glad to have you back on and have this as a successful episode compared to what the last one was.
Let's go ahead and roll this thing I was going to show you.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Yeah. Let's. So Daniel, since you're the only one really in here hanging out with us, he's going to give us a little spiel of something that he just put together, and you should be able to just share it on your end.
And Daniel might be too old for my music too, but
it's fine. I'm sure he'll give us some comeback after we end the episode.
I'm just here because I make shit and it's fun to show it off to people sometimes. Is all.
Bring it on, man.
All right, where the fuck is that file?
Don't forget to wrap up the Tuna Helper. He said.
Don't forget to wrap up the Tuna Helper. Man, you're stuck on that shit.
There's not enough to wrap up, man. That's not even a full meal for me.
What did Tuna Helper ever do to you? Show me on the doll where the Tuna Helper touched you. Where the helper hand. Where the helper hand touched you.
All right, let me add it to this.
Find myself at wits end trying to understand. All my life just one constant within God's plan. Cursed at birth, never to see his promised land. Wander lost through the deserts of fur in the sand as I toil and trouble through all my days. Merely second in sin, yet damned anyways. Try to reason and try to unwind in my mind while the swords always fall when I try to divine. Every trick I can conjure just pales in comparison. Fool that I am to continue upon my love and tenderness with everyone lives in the 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 end.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah, I got that big blast of energy. Yeah, I like it.
It's good.
I imagine a day that will come too late. People gathered around with such nice things to say, or perhaps bearing grudges we failed to bury, and they'd much rather watch me burn than rest in peace. Either way, I'll have died for a God that don't give a fuck if they saw virtue or not. I could weather my knees for eternity. Forgiveness sincerely with passion. What does it matter when everyone leaves in the end? Everyone leaves in the
like that drum.
Yeah.
That's good.
Trent Reznor meets Cradle of Filth. I would take that comparison. Yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
that wouldn't be too far off. I like both of those bands.
Yeah. See, he knows a little bit more than you think.
I don't know him, so I just
That's
have to
true.
assume.
Nah, so I actually Daniel and I met literally when I first started podcasting. We were in a couple of groups together on Facebook.
I think
And
I
we
think
just
I
been
did
friends.
watch one of those earlier episodes with him or something at one point.
Yeah,
so.
he's been on several of my episodes, and we've been friends since. I mean, I talk to this guy several times a week. Yeah. Great guy.
Yeah, I just did, like I said, I have to assume because of the type of stuff that's going on that, like,
yeah.
maybe it's not for everybody.
I mean, it doesn't really show in his name either. Spirit Medium Daniel doesn't really come
Yeah,
off as,
Spirit
hey,
Medium
I used to be in a metal band.
Yeah, no, I mean, and Pantera and Metallica are both pretty great.
Yes, agreed.
Metallica depends on what album, but I love all of Pantera shit.
Dude, that was really good. And that was all you, right?
Everything.
Yep. That's really good.
I mean, literally everything. Like, there's nothing that wasn't.
That's and in the my music interview show, I've been realizing like a lot of artists are doing a lot of things solo and just hiring people.
That's the new way, man. It's the new way.
I mean, it shows more. I mean, it shows a lot of skill. I mean,
I'm beginning the process of scouting members for the live band, but
yeah,
I met one guy that turned out pretty good so far, and it's going to be a slow process. It takes a while to really find people who like aren't full of shit and can actually play their instruments and and they're cool and there's only the avenues to finding them can be slow sometimes. So but I'm getting it started. So
he said, "I see dead people. I like the drums too."
Yeah, if you're a drummer, you'll probably like that middle section with the drum solo because there's like some cool 5/8 shit and whatever.
Right.
He'll know what I'm talking about.
I definitely don't, but I'm sure he does. All right, man. So again, I know we wrapped this up about 4 times now, but I'm gonna get off here and spend a little bit of time with my wife before.
Oh yeah, do it. I'm gonna go do whatever the fuck it is I do.
When I say that, I mean I'll probably download the audio, upload it while we're watching a movie, and that'll be my night.
All right, cool. Yeah,
and I usually replay. I replay this, and then tomorrow morning I'll have a clip of this, and then I love that. It's fun. The best part about this before we end is that literally I have an hour's worth of content just from one show to make a bunch of 1-minute clips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's how fucking Andre does it for the Eric Andre show.
Yeah.
The dude fucking makes 3-hour-long things and then just cuts it up into tiny little pieces. Doesn't even use like more than 10 minutes of it or something.
It's just it's the way it is. Unfortunately, on TikTok, apparently one of the biggest things is capturing the attention within 3 seconds.
Yeah,
He knows.
I knew he would when he was like, I played in the metal band drums. I was like, yeah.
All right, guys. Cool. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. That's gonna listen later on because this typically gets a lot of listens after. So until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
Peace.